You're watching Hot Ticket, your source for what's happening in Hampton Roads. I'm your host, Jenny Chung. C-SPAN recently announced the launch of a second fleet of local content vehicles, otherwise known as LCVs, to capture stories of literary and historic significance from small and mid-sized cities across the country. One of the cities chosen was Virginia Beach. And here to tell us more about this visit is C-SPAN's LCV coordinating producer, Debbie Lamb. Thank you for joining us today on Hot Ticket.
Thank you for having us.
So C-SPAN decided to launch the second fleet of LCV local content vehicles to capture more cities, therefore more stories, correct? So can you talk about that a little bit? Why?
Sure. We launched the LCV Cities Tour. And LCV, local content vehicles, the vehicles are just the conduit by which get us from city to city. So it's really about the cities. So we launched it in May of 2011, and those vehicles, those three vehicles are on the West Coast right now in Arizona. And then we decided that gathering all this content was great because we were able to get the cities involved and look at cities, their unique history and nonfiction literary life that otherwise wouldn't be shown to our national audience. So we decided a second fleet would be great, sort of focus on the East Coast. So this is our first city outside of Washington, D.C. after we did Alexandria as well. So
if you see these vehicles out in your city, C-SPAN is in your area and they're covering an incredible story, basically, is what you're saying. Mm-hmm. So why Virginia Beach?
Well, Virginia Beach is known for its unique history. Obviously, we have the military history, the settlers that came here, and all of the unique and rich history that's offered here, in addition to the nonfiction literary life. So we'll tape 6 to 7 segments for the history portion of it, and then 6 to 7 segments of the nonfiction literary life. We can't get to everything. So that's one of the downsides of, there's 3 of us that come in, each is equipped with their own camera, and they do the interviews, they produce the pieces and edit them for air. So in addition to all of that, we do outreach to the community and do school visits and talk about the free resources that C-SPAN has available to us. I do have to mention that we can't do this without our cable partners or the support of that city. So we've enjoyed a long partnership with Cox Communications, not only from a business perspective, but from an educational outreach perspective. And in this situation, Cox was more than helpful and gracious in getting us ingrained into the city, and the city itself extending its help makes for a very successful trip.
No doubt, and wonderful content. So can you give us a hint? I know we don't want to ruin the surprise, or what the story is about, but can you give us a hint as to what the viewers may see?
We are going to, we've been to the Adam Thorogood House, in addition to the old Coast Guard station. Well, obviously, as I mentioned, the naval history is important, so we'll go to the Naval Air Station. But we're also looking into, you go to the Union Kempsville Museum and look at the first African-American high school.
And authors as well.
Authors, so the authors that we've talked to, Dr. Stephen Mansfield, and we'll do a walking tour about some of the unique history of Virginia Beach. And also outside of that and talking about the military history would be Amy Yarzinski.
And actually, we did have a chance to talk to Amy Yarzinski at a recent council meeting in Virginia Beach, and let's take a look.
We had a nice conversational sort of piece done this morning, and you really get to hear more about the project than you normally would. It was about An American in the Basement. It's my newest book. It's coming out on the spring list through Trine Day. And it's about an American Navy pilot who was lost in the first Gulf War. And they found the entire story very compelling, and they wanted to get it in on the LCV tours. And it's in almost a 20-year process of publishing one book in 2002 about the case, then coming back at the story again and actually finishing it, giving it that ending that it needed to have. And it's very rare for authors to get that opportunity to do that kind of thing.
You can see the unique culture and history of Virginia Beach through the eyes of C-SPAN by tuning into Book TV C-SPAN 2 and American History C-SPAN 3 on April 20th and the 21st. You can also check out the LCV programs, Virginia Beach, at cspan.org. And thanks for tuning in to Hot Ticket.